My name is Diamond, and this is my story. I'm 16 years old from San Francisco. I go to Lowell High School, going to be a junior. I'm mixed with African American, white, and Native American. And I know nothing about my culture or where my family came from. My mom would always tell me stories when I was younger, but I never listened because all I wanted to do was play. Now I regret not listening to what my mom had to say about my ancestors. But thank God I'm a part of MoAD's media program because I'm not only learning about media, but I'm also learning about my origin. And the Street Side Stories are helping me with that because I had to interview my mom as an activity of theirs, and I came up with some interesting things that happened in my life. My mom had retold me the stories that she told me when I was younger, and this is what she said. My great-grandma came from Africa. The white man took her and her family and brought them to America to become slaves. My great-grandma was working on the cotton field most of her life, ever since she was a little girl. She had given birth to my grandma and her brothers and sisters on the cotton field. And once slavery was done, my great-grandma took my grandma and her siblings to Georgia to raise her kids. And then her kids were grown up, and they could live on their own. She moved to San Francisco to live the rest of her life with her husband. My grandma had her kids in Georgia. Then she had my mom, which was the last one because she had a stroke when she was giving birth to my mom. Then my great-grandma had to come back out there in Georgia and take care of my grandma and her kids. Then my grandma died because of her last stroke when my mom was 9 years old. And I think that was the most hardest year for my mom, losing her mom at a young age. Well, that's the story that my mother has been telling me my whole life and I wouldn't listen to. But now I finally sat down and had the time to listen to what my mom had to say about my family. But there's a lot more that I don't know, and I can't get my answers from the people that are living. If I was able to have a conversation with my great-grandma, here are some questions I would have asked her. What tribe did you come from Africa? What did you do when the white man took you? Did you fight back? How was it like working on the cotton field? Did you create your own little family with the other people that were working on the field? There would be so much to say to her right now if I could still see my great-grandma. Well, that's how my family came from Africa. But how do I have Native American in me? How do I have white in me? My great-grandma is African. Who's Native American? Who's white? Well, my mom told me on my dad's side, my great-grandfather was Native American. He was full Cherokee, and I never heard stories about him. I just know on my dad's side of the family is where I have Native American in me. But I also have a little white inside me. Well, my mom said that came from both sides, but mostly on my father's side. Someone very deep in the family was half white and half African American. But why don't my family talk about my other two races? Why don't I really know my family? Why? Well, I have the rest of my life to find out who I am.